community. And the more we progress, we also understand that it's a time where people around the world, some, not all of them, but it's for them it's a time of awakening of Ukrainian roots. And they come to us and they said here in Canada, I didn't know that, but my grandma or my grandfather was Ukrainian. Nobody shared the story about that. And it brings a lot of comfort and also support to keep going. Maple Hope Foundation is a registered non-for-profit organization. We registered in 2014 in response to the occupation of Crimea by Russian Federation, and also the start of the war and the tragic events that happened at Maidan during Revolution of Dignity. Yesterday I got a call from Global Christian Church here in North Vancouver, one of the churches, and they are asking me questions, same questions, how can we help and how are you funded? And I said, we are not funded. We are community-based volunteer organization. The members of the board, the co-founders, we are all professionals making our living somewhere else. I am a faculty at British Columbia Institute of Technology, School of Business and Media. Our president is an IT professional. Our other founders are like Olivia here, she's a nurse, and many others who volunteer, who are part of our board, are just people with a strong wish to make a difference, to make a positive impact in the life of those that cannot say for themselves, cannot share their needs, and we are their voices, and we are very proud to have this mission and to carry on with this mission. To be honest, it's really hard and exhausting because it's 24/7. I took a leave of absence from my work, and I'm on this volunteer mission for 85 days. But we won't be able to carry on without support of the communities where we live, our colleagues, our neighbors, and I'm so happy that I can share what we do today with you, and maybe you will become our voices too and join our mission. The focus of Maple Hope Foundation, people affected by war. There are different lines of help, military, medical, humanitarian aid, and because of the resettlement crisis, displaced people crisis, over 4 million of Ukrainians left Ukraine. We put together a Ukrainian Displaced Assistance Program here in Vancouver, and we are helping those who are coming here from Ukraine. Since in the last 85 days, we raised 85,000, and that's primarily for the non-lethal military equipment, radio communications, drones, satellite equipment, everything that is needed at the front lines. We have a team of volunteers in Romania, just at the border with Ukraine. They help us to look for the equipment, and they deliver that to Ukraine. Not just to the front lines, but also to different hospitals in Ukraine. For our medical line of help, we were able to raise almost 130,000, and it's all monetary donations and medical supplies donations that different healthcare providers here in Vancouver and in British Columbia were able to donate to us. It's very specific medical suppliers, a group of medical suppliers, tourniquets, blood stoppers, suppliers that help to deal with trauma. And again, we are very privileged to have a team of medical doctors and nurses as part of our a volunteer team for Maple Hope. They know what they are doing. They are in contact with healthcare providers in Ukraine, and that's our primary line of responsibility to help with medical supplies. Humanitarian help, as the previous speaker mentioned, there is a need in everything, especially food, diapers, formula. At the beginning, when the war started, heaters at the border. The women with children were freezing. It was -15, -18, and they were crossing the border between Ukraine and Poland. I was born in Western Ukraine. It's 2 hours to the border, and some women and children were in line for 4 days just to cross that border that usually takes only 2 hours, without access to food, water, and proper washroom. So we were able to work with local organizations in Lviv and to put the tents and buy heaters and provide some food supplies and diapers for these women and children. Working with local businesses that completely changed what they were doing. There was a group of entrepreneurs in Ternopil that organized a bakery, and that just in a couple days it was a full production, and that bakery until now bakes bread, cookies for soldiers at the front lines, and also sends to Kharkiv region, which is attacked by Russian from day one and continue to be under attack because people are there hiding in bomb shelters in the underground stations of the metro, and without food. So the only source is volunteers that can donate that or deliver. Now Red Cross, thanks God, is there, and there are more help coming. There are more help coming from European Union, but at the beginning it was tough. Different locations, Zaporizhia region, we don't work with organizations or volunteers that we don't know. There is a trust issue, and we only on the ground working with people that we can trust completely, because in 8 years we established a large network of organizations and volunteers that are on the ground in Ukraine, and we can deliver respond to the needs, actual needs, and we know that everything that we are going to donate will be delivered. How can you help us to help in Ukraine? Because that's our primary line of primary focus. We are not focusing on a resettlement. It's just a recent project that we started to raise money for the support of Ukrainians who are coming here to Canada. They are in much better situation, right? They're in Canada, they are in safety. So our focus remains in Ukraine. The picture, the woman was just running from the bombs, from the rocket attack with her 2 children, and the woman lost her leg, and her 11-year-old daughter lost also both legs. So they are waiting for amputation in US, and they have a 7-year-old son who is taking care of them. She's a single mother. So that's just one story, and the stories are horrific, and you know about them. And I'm here today not to focus on negative. My goal is to focus on hope, because everybody, from a soldier to a wounded mom or an elderly who lost the only son, they still have hope, and this hope helps them to keep going, to fight, and stay courageous and brave, and they are an inspiration for all of us. The recent project, Ukrainian Displaced Assistance Program, UDAP, was put together by our team. We incorporated an online platform. It's on Ukrainian Vancouver online portal, and it's a meeting place for those that are looking for help and coming here, and those who would like to help. And I think that's probably the most relevant way. How can you join the effort and help? Because if you ready to give a shelter, a temporary housing for Ukrainians, you can register there. If your business is looking for people, you can hire Ukrainians. And they are here not to take advantage from the system. It's about their self-respect and dignity. It's a forced decision to leave Ukraine. Nobody wanted to leave Ukraine. We had a pretty good life in Ukraine in the last couple years. The IT industry was booming. Small businesses, entrepreneurship movement was booming. Talented youth and people were forced to leave, and they don't want to be they don't want to be a burden here. They would like to keep that self-dignity, to work, to contribute to the community and feel normal here. And it doesn't matter if I'm here for a short time when everything will stabilize in Ukraine, or maybe if Canada would become their home and they would join the army of Ukrainians in Canada. There are almost 1.5 million us here in Canada, and they might contribute also to the Ukrainian diaspora in Canada. So our Ukrainian Assistance Displaced program has 3 stages. We support them before they come. It helps them to reduce level of anxiety. Our case managers are in constant communication with Ukrainians that are in Ukraine or in Poland or Czech Republic or Romania or Moldova or Turkey. So when they choose Vancouver as their final destination, they know that there is someone who is going to wait for them. And the response is amazing. I was housing first families thanks to the Woodridge Home. It's a developer in Port Moody. And when Ukrainians walked into their brand new, fully furnished apartments, where the fridge was stocked with Ukrainian food, frozen pierogi, cabbage rolls, borscht, and when the maple syrup was standing close to the bottle of Ukrainian oil, sunflower oil, it brought so much tears to my eyes and everyone who was there just to witness that. I think what's happening in Ukraine, it's awakening of the humanity for all of us. We are living in a so materialized world. We were worried about our mortgage payments, about a new couch, or where we would celebrate a birthday, which restaurant is better. Whatever is going on in Ukraine, it's awakening of humanity, and it's returning us to the basic needs. Those needs and those values that you cannot buy for anything. And I think it's a message from our Heavenly Father to stop and to think what is the most important. If we are ignorant, if we are not compassionate, if we are not kind, the life we live doesn't mean anything, because that's what we are called to do, to support each other, to encourage each other, to stand for each other. And this movement stand of for Ukraine, it's like an example of the family, right? In the family, when somebody is in huge need or in danger, as a family, we cannot leave that family member to die. We are there for that family member. And that's what we are doing in our global community, where global leaders, led by our absolutely courageous young president, Volodymyr Zelensky, who didn't have any political experience, who came from the show business. And maybe because he came from a show business, he is so authentic, and there is no agenda. There is a pure love for his country and a pure desire to provide a living for Ukrainians that deserve to live with dignity and experience freedom in everything that they do, and also to become a support for anyone who is going to need a support in the global community. So we help with everything. It's help for displaced people from A to Z, with housing, with applications for MSP, Service Canada, social insurance number. We have a team of HR professionals that match those who are coming with employers. It's ESL training, because ESL is everything. The better your English, the better you will secure your employment situation will be. Childcare is crucial. It's so difficult for Ukrainian women who came here with young children, preschool children, where they cannot work because they have to take care of their little ones. I was visiting yesterday a woman from Vasilkiv, just outside of Kyiv. They lost their house. She came here with 2 kids, 2.5-year-old, 10-year-old, and her oldest son and her husband are fighting at the front lines. And she is willing to work, but the child care cost $1,200 per month. How she can afford that? The government opened the door. We are very grateful because it's unprecedented invitation for Ukrainian nationals to come and be in safe place. But they all would like to work, and in order to work, they need the support. And together, we believe that we can provide that support. They all come with a very deep trauma, and that's what we started next weekend. We are going to have a training, a 2-day training. EMDR counselors, Canadian counselors reached out to us and said, we are ready to work with a group of traumatized Ukrainian women and teenagers, and it's in-kind contribution. We are going to give our time for free, and it's very expensive. And it warms my heart when we are getting invitations like this. You really can make a difference when you think about what you can do, who is in your network, and how can you use this network.